Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I want to talk to you guys about how to get over a breakup. I know it's tough times. Okay, it's not easy. First thing I need to tell you, it's not easy. But I have some tips and tricks that helped me get over heartbreak, get over that painful feeling of emptiness. Right? I'm talking like the real stuff, okay? Like the one that really hurts. If you're just having like a mild discomfort, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that kind of breakup that feels like you're dead, okay? That gets you on bed, watching Hamlet 1996 over and over again, okay? Because you somehow identify with the Prince of Denmark, sorry. And because, you're grieving, okay? You're grieving and grief is important because it shows you that something very loved died. And in that case, it was your relationship. So I'm really sorry if you're going through this right now. Okay. But my first tip for you is if you can move, what I mean is just move. Just, you know, pack up, go to another town, go to another city, go abroad, move to another country. Get use that passport, that's what I did. Okay, when I had like the worst breakup of my life, the one that hurt me the most, that made me feel miserable, unlovable, and all sort of bad things, what I did, I got on the first bus I could and went 6 hours away from my family, from my hometown, a place I lived my whole life, a place I thought that I was going to, get married in, have children, build a life. And when I realized that that was not going to happen and that that was not for me as well, at the moment at least, I was like, I need to go. I really felt that itch. I know that not everyone can do that, okay? This first advice is not very practical, but it's something that really helped me because when you remove yourself from that place where you have so many memories with a person, it's easier to just like put yourself in a new reality where you already don't have that person there. Okay. So I went to a big city. I got a new job. I got a new friend. I got new friends. I got a new house. I was, a brand new person. I even dyed my hair white. I just completely, because this is the thing, guys. What happens when a relationship ends is that that version of yourself that was in the relationship also dies. That person you were before, when you were in love with that significant other, that person is dead. And that is painful. It's something difficult to mourn and to just brush off like nothing happened. Okay. So that's why I'm talking about like the real deal kind of relationship that is terrible because you lose a part of yourself as well when it's over. So reinvention, it's a good way to move on. I know it sounds tacky, and we've probably seen it happen in lots of romantic comedies, but it really works. Okay, it helped me a lot. The second thing I want to tell you is that to be patient, because mourning and getting over a heartbreak is not something that happens overnight. It's something that really takes time and patience. Okay. What I've noticed that happens is that the first few weeks or months or first year are the ones that hurt the most. Because you're constantly thinking about the person, you can't really move on. No one else is as good as them. No one is as interesting, and you just can't really, you know, get it going with anyone else. You're just really stuck in that feeling of loss, right? But over time, you wake up one day and you don't think about them. And then next day you might think a little bit, but then the other day you also forget about them. You're living your life, you're doing your stuff, you have more exciting things to look forward to. You're picking yourself up, and over time, that pain is going to disappear. And in that place, all you're gonna have is some memories, okay? some hurtful moments as well, some good and bad ones. And most importantly, you've gonna have a lot of lessons learned and a lot of experience about yourself and how you deal with people and how you handle your relationships. And that's great. Honestly, I don't regret any of the relationships I had because I know exactly what I did wrong, what could have gone, what I could have done right. But I also understand that there's no point in battling with the past. Let the past die. You know, there's no point in battling with the past. The things happened the way they had to happen, and you learn the things you had to learn, and now you move on. Okay. And over time, I also realized things like that wasn't a suitable relationship for me. That I didn't want the things I said I was willing to do for that relationship, and so on and so so things just settle. Okay, the chips fall where they may, and everything is all right. But it takes time. Okay, it's not gonna be tomorrow. It's not gonna be the next day, the other week. Okay, unless you're a psychopathic kind of person, you don't feel anything. You're probably not even worried if that relationship ended. But if you were like, if you're a normal person with normal heart and brain, and you just feel things, deeply, and you allow yourself to love, because that's the risk of allowing yourself to love and be loved, right? You're gonna get hurt, and it's inevitable. So yeah, be patient. Okay, the next thing is, don't try to escape the pain. Okay, I'm not telling you to wallow in pain and absolutely love it. I do actually like a heartbreak from time to time. I'm gonna be honest with you, because it really helps with creativity. And I mean, you see Taylor Swift, right? She's always making incredible music, thanks to her heartbreak, and many other artists in poetry and movies. There's so many good things out there because someone got their heart broken. And that's part of life, guys. Being sad, being heartbroken, being disappointed over people and things that happen with us, that's normal. Okay, so I would say embrace it, because it's a very powerful, life changing energy. I'm gonna tell you the alchemy that you can do in your life because of a heartbreak. Oh my God, as I said before, I moved cities. I moved out of my hometown for the first time at 26 after a heartbreak, because that was so painful that it just made me like, I'm gonna live my life right now. I was like, I'm gonna live my life and no one's gonna stop me, because I was willing to like completely abandon my dreams for that person. I was willing to settle down. Ouch. Sorry. I was willing to settle down. And I shouldn't have. Like, I still don't. I didn't. I don't plan on doing that for a long time, because I really like my freedom. I like my life. I mean, I've become a whole different person. And I had insecurities and things that I needed to work on. And I was only able to work on them after that relationship ended, because I understood how that was damaging and affecting my relationships. So, focus on yourself. The problem is that we sometimes go into relationships and we completely forget about who we are, what we want, what we're doing with our lives, where we were going before we met that person. Suddenly, it's like out the window, and we just forget. Okay, that's a very dangerous thing to do when you're in a relationship. You need to focus on yourself and still be with that person, and if they tag along, fantastic. But if at some point they fall out, well, it was probably for the best. But after you end a relationship, it's important to think about yourself and think about the life you want to live. Remember your plans, remember your dreams, okay? The thing that kept me going every day is when I realized that I wanted to move to a big city. And not, I put that on paper, as I always do. And every time I want something, I just write it down. And it usually happens. So I wrote it down. I was like, I want to go move to this city next year. In 2 months, I was packing up and moving. So I gave myself 1 year to get what I wanted, and I got it even faster, because that energy, that pain, it gives you so much drive to do stuff. And it was also one of the I'm laughing because, but it was one of the most creative moments of my life, because I was writing poetry every single day. Was it good? I don't know, but I was so I was milking that pain. I was making the most out of it because I know that these moments are fleeting. Pain comes and goes. Heartbreak lasts just a while and then it's gone. It's like a storm, it's a feeling. And someday you're going to wake up and it's not going to be there anymore. So, right now, I would say if you're in pain because of a relationship that ended, girl, I know it sounds weird, but enjoy it, you know? Play some sad music, drink some wine, take a long bath, cry in the shower. Oh my God, I miss crying in the shower. But really, like it's just it's a good it's a moment and it's part of life. I think that sometimes we just want to be happy all the time. That's unrealistic, okay? Life it's about the painful moments as well because they teach us so much and they push us far and it's fantastic. I love it. Another thing you should do is surround yourself with people you love, okay? That's why we need to maintain our friendships during our relationships because when a relationship falls out, when something ends terribly, the people that are going to bring you up again are probably your family and friends, okay? It was the same for me. I always had lovely friends. I'm very lucky. And even when I moved out, and then I didn't have friends for a while, but then I eventually made friends. And even those strangers, which is weird, but it's fun to tell because people around you are so willing to love you more than you think. Because I had strangers support me after that change. When I first moved to a big city, I was alone and I was still in pain because it was just like a few months after my breakup. And I remember that I had a friend from work and he introduced me to his friends, and when I told them about what happened, they were all like, oh my God, you're such a badass. So the feeling of being welcomed and just received in a new circle and your pain also being received and embraced, um that's fantastic. There will always be people willing to spread their arms for you and let you in and make space for you. Okay, so if you have your friends, value them. If your family supports you, value them, because these are the people that are going to be there for you when shit hits the fan. Okay, and the last thing I want to tell you is that the pain is temporary. Okay, this pain that you're feeling now, it's not gonna last forever. um it might be overwhelming, it might be you know like it feels like there's a weight on your chest and it's almost like you can't breathe sometimes. And I remember because it's very physical for me, um when I'm going through heartbreak, and I mean like real heartbreak, guys. Okay, it's not just a crush that didn't work out, it's something that really like brings you to your knees. It really just makes you question your whole existence, who you are, what you've done with your life so far, why this didn't work out. It's something that you ruminate and think about and cry about and talk to people about. And you go to therapy to, get it out of your system. And you run marathons and start lifting weights. That's the kind of pain I'm talking about. Okay. And, but that goes away too. Everything, all things end. That's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. But it's something we need to get used to in life, okay? Because all things end. That relationship ended. Now the pain is here, but the pain is also going to end at some point, okay? Hope you're doing well. If you're going through this, if you're watching this video because you're going through this, I really hope that any of this helps you, any of this advice, okay? You're not alone. I survived heartbreak and you can too. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.